At over 15,000 pounds dry weight and nearly 3,600 pounds hitch weight before cargo, half tons need not apply. Folks, we are at least in dually country here, if not in mid-sized truck territory, like a 450 or a 4,500 or whatever. This is a big, beautiful Fuzion 414 that just came in on trade here at Haylett RV. The folks never used it as a toy hauler, so it's never had like motorcycles and stuff in it. They just used it as a personal luxury fifth wheel, and that's one of the things that I always loved about Fuzions, and really still do, was the fact that they were, in a lot of sense, the toy hauler Montana. They give you a lot of the big luxury fifth wheel features and feelings, but they do so with, well, a garage or a flex space or whatever you want to call it on the back here. Which is interesting. I say this is kind of like a toy hauler Montana because that's actually what the folks swapped into. They swapped out of this and got themselves into a Montana. They just, what they said, when we bought this, we were thinking more like the kids and the grandkids, and they just didn't come with us as much as we thought. So, you know, the sofa, bed lifts in the back, that didn't turn into the private bedroom that we quite hoped it would all the time. So they purchased a full paint legacy generator, just giant, beautiful Montana, and swapped this thing out, which frankly makes sense because when you're going from something like this, there aren't many things that are going to feel like a big step up in almost any sense of the word. Montana is going to be one of the few. And this is kind of a fun thing for me, kind of reliving a little bit of the past here. I've liked Fuzions for a long time, and I actually felt for a very long while that this generation that we're looking at right here is right about their 10th anniversary. I thought it was like one of the best generations of Fuzions I had ever seen. They were just so luxurious and opulent, but like somehow still rugged and brutal and barbed wire and blowtorches. And I don't know how they managed to successfully merge the two, but they did. These are all 5,000 pound tie downs, by the way. And you might notice the tie downs have these little covers on them you can pop off, and it's almost like E-Track. There's like multiple hookup spots on each one of those. Kind of like the local bar here in Coldwater. It's got multiple hookup spots on the weekend, or so I'm told. I don't know. I've never been much of a bar hopper. Obviously, we're a bath and a half model, and this is one of the things I love about this. It's not just a garage. A den, a living room, a 3 seasons room, a patio. You see that we obviously have the 3 seasons, like door, wall, tent, screen, combo, jabbo, whatever. Ooh, I just noticed. I didn't notice this until just now, obviously, you could tell my exclamation there. Backup camera on this. Very nice. It is washer-dryer capable. You might notice over here, there's the little hookups. I think you might need to remove the sink to make that happen. And I get that sink looks and feels kind of weird hanging out in wide open spaces there, but it's, you know, just the way that they could do it while making it as unobtrusive as possible. I've always liked the fact they have that just big wide door right there. That's something not every toy hauler was doing at the time. And you got to remember, you got to look at this thing through the lens of time and realize it's still, I feel, very much on par with the big bad fifth wheel toy haulers of today's market. And then there's a couple things like this. Like, look at the entertainment package on this thing. That TV drops down for easy viewing. It pivots left and right to be visible from either of the sofa bench things. And it occurs to me, so far, you haven't seen those. So let's get those dropped down, shall we? And I'm sure if you're looking at a Fuzion, you probably got a pretty good idea of the fact that you've got that kind of almost theater seat style flip down middle section there for both benches. You've got the big power drop bed above, although you can pin that up into the ceiling area if, you know, you don't want that in your way. And one of the other really cool things Fuzion was doing in this generation is their triple air conditioning system. So they have triple 15,000 BTU airs on this, but there is 0 central ducting back in the garage area. Instead, this has its own non-ducted dump air, so that if you are loading something back here with a combustion engine, or you've got my Uncle Gary sleeping back here Taco Tuesday night, and you don't want him fumigating the rest of the RV, there's no, like, ventilation exchange. It's a smart, cool thing. We'll talk more about the air conditioning system when we get to the living room. But notice too, it does come with that kind of floating table right there. You could use it out on the patio. You could use it between the benches. You could use it inside. But the thing is, you don't really have to do that. Because the RV comes with its own Dinofa table on the inside as well. And notice I'm not doing any fancy movie magic. I didn't just shift the table. There's two separate tables going on here. So that's the thing. I don't know. Is this a toy hauler? A middle living room? It's kind of sort of a forward kitchen layout. And that's really the thing with toy haulers, other than just calling them toy hauler. They don't really do well with categorization. That's a theater seat over there, by the way, nice and plush. You got cross breeze windows galore here. And this was made before a direct-facing entertainment center was quite as much of a focus as it is now. Thankfully, that TV can pivot around quite nicely. Got the little electric space heat and fireplace down below, and this table's free-floating. You could get it out of there if you want to. Now, the RV's pre-owned. It's got a couple little things. Like down here, I noticed that this floor vent was like next to that one screw. Somebody probably stepped on it. Unfortunately, cracked it a little bit, but I just haven't detected anything major in here, you know. All the windows open for air. They have night roller shades. Again, years before a lot of brands were doing that. That's kind of the thing. That's what I liked about these. They were ahead of the curve. And, you know, I really wish I would have turned a light on up there, but, you know, I'm just that dumb, guys. And as you walk in from the garage, this would kind of be our view here. That is I believe, an 18 cubic foot residential refrigerator. A lot of times Fuzions, especially during this era, they came with 18 cubic foot gas electric two-way refrigerators. That does mean this RV has a 1,000-watt inverter, so you can run it in transit. And just like we're doing right now, I've got the generator running currently, by the way. I did it to test out all the air conditioning systems, and that's one thing I wanted to talk to you about. I'm going to take a seat and slowly try to look you up here. You've got dual 15,000 centralized air conditioners in the living and bedroom. Well, that would sound like 4. You have one in the bedroom, one in the living room. The bedroom and the living room AC share ducting. So your living area has its own 30,000 BTU air cycle system on this, whereas the garage, which is much, much smaller, has its own separate 15,000 BTU system. It's a pretty cool thing that they have going on there. Now, the kitchen arrangement's a little unconventional, a little two-tone, a little Tommy Two-Tone, one-hit wonder there. It's funny that Tommy Two-Tone was a one-hit wonder, isn't it? Oh my lord, I've never considered that. Doesn't that sound weird? Anyway, big XL vent fan up there, and central vacuum system in the steps as you head upstairs. But one of the things this has, which is a personal pet peeve of mine, is that it actually does have a privacy shade in the window. And the pet peeve is when RVs don't. But have you noticed, like, every little nook and cranny they possibly could? If it's not cabinets or something, they put windows in it. They're like, punch a hole in it, let people look out. Let there be light. And since part of the living room gets kind of squished down a little bit, I think since this is a toy hauler, they did have to leave some allowance for the garage space. The wide body nature of this RV really helps. And where that also really comes into play is here in the bedroom space and the bathroom space, as it were, since that's where we're standing currently. Because it allows for a second entry door and a big shower and extra closet space. Because this is bath linen space. This whole thing is a slide out all the way through the bedroom. Now down here, we've got the 70 by 80 Glide-A-Bed. The slide out will actually shove it against the wall. Then when you reach your destination, you can just unshove it and slide it out of the way. I do like, though, that you have that door right there. That floor space gives you a nice little pocket of room where you can actually stand up and get dressed. And check this out. You've got your living room entertainment, garage, and bedroom entertainment all separated here. Remember, again, your living room and your bedroom ACs are 15,000 BTU and shared with one another. They're all tied in together. And this is super, like, wide open side stand friendly right here. And I've always kind of liked that extra little pocket on top. And just going over the top like Fuzion really was good at during this era. That's all sealed edge countertop stuff. Even the underside of those cabinets is a thermal foil like countertop material. Just crazy stuff. Now, I mentioned how the slide will actually push the bed against the wall. That's what it looks like. You don't have to do anything. The slide will do the work for you. It's actually on a little gliding system. And I knew that with the kitchen peninsula and the opposing slides, we weren't going to have any really significant good travel access. One thing I did think was nice, though, you do have this kind of welcome home open area where if it's raining and a couple of you are piling in here real quick, you can do that. But then I kind of noticed, there's a little bit of a gap here. Now, the refrigerator can't really open. I'm not saying that counts as access. But notice, that is a shallow slide. Frankly, it does not stick out of the RV any further, and I believe less far than these stable steps. So logically, if you can deploy those steps, or if you can deploy that handrail right there, you can deploy this slide out. It's also a cable-driven slide, which means if you only run it out halfway, you can do that. So I was actually really glad I closed the slide, because this one is surprisingly, potentially, with the push of a button, travel accessible. Now back outside here, that generator, we're gonna go by it in a second. You're gonna hear it humming away, fired right up, running very clean. And sometimes it's actually good when something gets regular use. Like, I'll hear somebody say, oh, I found an old motorhome. It's a 2001. It's only got 6,000 miles. That means the engine's probably junk, because the fluids, the fuel, the gaskets, they haven't been properly used, lubricated. This generator has been used. It has been used to the tune of 4,460 hours, 4460.0 at the time of this filming. And it's humming just like it's supposed to. You take care of your stuff and it takes care of you. People ask me all the time, like, what's the best quality RV? Which one's gonna last longest? The answer, unequivocally, is which one are you going to take care of? Which one are you going to properly maintain? That's the one that's gonna take the best care of you. 6-point hydraulic auto leveling, by the way. And you got your all-enclosed privatized docking center in here, and I didn't mention it when we were down inside here, but that's where your inverter is located. It's that far box over there on the left. I'm kind of on the thin side. I should have done that on the other side of the RV. Holy cow. That's a long way up here. This thing's like a football field long walking around up here. Now, this was made before factory solar prep was really a thing. And I see where both the front and rear termination strips were aggressively resealed, which is good. That means they're not leaking, because the rest of the seals here look good. And looking around inside, I see absolutely no indication that there ever were any leaks in this RV, the roof, the sidewalls, the windows, or otherwise. All I see is just a clean roof membrane, healthy seals, and positive upkeep. Now, the RV's not old enough for the tires to have aged off, but, when people start boondocking as much as 4,460 hours indicates, you wonder, what kind of terrain did they go over? Whatever it was, it didn't appear to be that severe. The tires aren't dry, rotted, weather checked. They're not worn irregularly. The triple axle system here has all MORryde CRE 3000 suspension joints, by the way. So it's a big rig. It'll have decent ride and handling, understanding the way that a big rig's going to handle. Now, this has dual 30-pound fuel cells. Nope, 30-gallon fuel cells. I'm sorry, 30-pound propane tanks, 30-gallon fuel station here. They are not connected together. One of those inlets has a 30-gallon fuel tank just for the generator. The other one is just for the fueling station. That allows you to do things if you want to, like some high-octane stuff for your side-by-side or what have you. Now, if you don't care about that, you're like, I just want to be able to dry camp with this thing as long as possible. You can fill both of them with generator fuel, and then as your generator tank gets low, you just use the pump to cross over. And we saw the screen room closed up from the inside. Thought you'd like to take a look at it from the exterior here. Now, the RV's kind of parked where the tail is elevated a little bit. But what's kind of nice about this has an extremely sturdy patio system when I actually take the time to lower those legs down like you're supposed to. But this was also another thing that was ahead of the curve on this, is it had the, what I call MORryde 0G tailgate system. It is very simple, very easy. It doesn't throw your shoulder out. You don't have to be Bulk Logan to lift that thing up. Bulk Logan, by the way, is a callback to Tiny Toon Adventures because they couldn't get the licensing to use Hulk Hogan. They just used the name Bulk Logan, but everybody knew who it was, and that's how you get around copyright. You may have noticed there is an awning off the back of the RV. That's power. You've also got an awning back here as well as in the front area, and this right there is just a handy little tool chest. A lot of toy haulers will put like a little toolbox or something like that in the dovetail in the garage area. But if you got stuff loaded, you can't get in there. So Fuzion had this idea, what if we mount it on the skirt right against the chassis rail? And I always liked that. I always thought it worked really well. Then again, I also always like these. And I still do. This thing is awesome. You know what? I'm gonna enjoy it as long as it's here. Somebody's gonna be lucky in taking this thing home. It's not flawless, but it's not beat up. The generator's running well. This is a good find. This is a very good find. So give us a call when you're ready. We do hitching, pieces, parts, trades, finance, truck and trailer package deals, RV delivery, and everything between. Take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy Haylett camping, everyone.